Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. It is Friday. We made it to Friday. We made it to Friday. We finally made it to Friday. I hope you're all having a great week. I hope you had a great week. I hope you're ready for the weekend. I'm not muted, am I? Okay, everything's going. We're going to do the thing here in a minute. We're going to talk about there's this preacher who's doing a thing at the place with the stuff. He ain't right in the head. And of course, there's all kinds of other things going on. We're going to talk about those things, and we're probably going to take phone calls from atheists, Christians, if they want to call, theists, non-theists, whomever. We'll take calls from them. So right after this, Today's world is confusing, and there's too much information for one person to make sense of it all. Which credit card should I pay off first? Is non-fat milk good for me? Who should I vote for? Let's face it, if you can't figure out high-interest milk, then how can you be expected to make political decisions that influence a country of over 325 million people? Well, that's why there's fascism. Fascism is the political, social, and economic system for today's world. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines fascism as a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts a nation, and often race, above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of the opposition. Choose this ideology and life will be easy. Did you ever look at someone who uses really big words and think, I wish those libtards would just disappear? Well, under fascism, your dreams can come true. Under fascism, you won't have to worry about the pesky little things like brown people or atheists, or who in your country is entitled to basic human rights and who is not. Hint, hint, the answer is nobody. Yes, friends, this truly is the final solution you've been looking for. And if you're concerned if this form of authoritarianism will be up to your high standards, don't worry. American fascism will be the best fascism in the world because it's been endorsed by Jesus. So go out and destroy freedom and democracy by getting fascism today. Paid for by the Fascio Conservative Party, formerly known as the GOP. All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Andy, for joining me. Nokasuchi, I hope you guys had a great week so far.
I'm doing well. I have no complaints. I want to give a shout out to new subscribers. Got a viral video going on my channel about Pat Robertson, one of those shorts, right? So new subscribers have been flowing in. I want to say hello to everybody. I usually don't sound like this. In fact, I usually sound a lot worse. But for some reason, my voice is pitching down and I sound all gravelly, and I don't know why.
Okay, well, good to hear, I guess. Hello, new subscribers to Andy's show. Don't forget to subscribe to mine too. Nokasuchi, good morning. How are you doing, bud? You're not with us yet, are you? You're just not
I'm slowly waking up. I had to double check my mute button. Slowly waking up. Just rolled out of bed. But I'm here, and I'll be waking up and enjoying the morning.
Awesome. Wonderful. Before we get too far along, of course, I want to say hello to everybody in the damn nation, all you wonderful people who are watching. Thank you all for joining us. Let's see, we got people on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, the Daily Atheist Morning Show podcast. We're even streaming on the TrumpFamilyTreason.com website. So good morning, everyone.
Chris, I just want to say that Phil Lister in my chat says his view is fuzzy. Maybe it isn't fuzzy anymore. I'm looking at the show right now on my iPad. And
that could be Phil.
It could be Phil.
Yeah, it's pretty clear on my screen.
Okay, good.
I'm using my on my other screen. It looks pretty good.
Gotcha. Well, so, anyway, so hello, everybody. Thank you. If Andy will let me finish my introduction. Hello, everybody. I was just rounding it up. I want to thank you all and that YouTube guy who watches the show. Okay, Andy, go ahead with whatever you're going to talk about. Yeah, buddy. Every day. But
every day it's the same. And you know what I've discovered? That there are parts of the day that go a lot faster than other parts of the day during quarantine, because I really don't leave my house a whole lot. And I've discovered the longest parts of the day, for me at least, are from 7 o'clock at night till about 10 or 11 o'clock, until the time I go to bed, basically. And those hours, man, they just, it's gotten so bad. I've been reading like books and stuff That's how bad it's gotten. I mean, yeah,
Really?
okay. I've always
You
read.
poor bastard.
Somebody
now
stuck
I'm
in 1983.
Right. dude, that's funny you could say that because I've been watching Black Adder, the classic BBC show with Rowan Atkinson. And I'm on Black Adder too. And because there are only like 6 episodes per season, I can blow through, and they're only half-hour episodes. I can blow through a whole season of Black Adder in one night. And pity my poor girlfriend who has to watch Black Adder with me for like, an hour and a half. So yeah, 7 to 10, 7 to 11. It's just like I just like coast through the morning hours. The afternoon seems to be a little draggy on me, but when it gets to be like 7 to 10, 7 to 11, I don't know what to do.
This is why both of y'all are so much more awake than me every morning, because you're going to bed at 11. I'm going into a Christian room at 11.
Yeah. I guess it is about 11.
Yeah. I yell at Christians late at night. It's what I do.
He does. He's the champion of the non-faith. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, so good morning, everybody. Thank you, Andy and Nokasuchi, for joining us. Did you guys read the article or see the thing about let me play a thing for you. I'm going to play a thing. And then, of course, we'll take a call. I want to play a thing on the computer thing here. Give me un moment. Wow, that's bright. It just makes me look bright because I'm bright. All right, so let's see if I can get us up. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to play this thing. And
life. He loves
hope everybody
America.
can hear that.
He boldly says, "In God we trust," and plays "God bless the USA." And he helps the economy recover. He's wise.
Okay,
We need to stand up for President Trump. We know that God's will is President Trump. Look, President Trump is pro-life. He loves America. He boldly says, "In God we trust," and plays "God
I hear that
bless
dead
the
air is the
USA."
sexiest air.
And he helps the economy recover.
Yeah, I forgot we were
He's
live. I'm
wise.
like doing 100
And
different
this
things at
helps
once.
the poor people. So God's
Oh,
will
hey,
is
audience.
for
Hello. You're
President
there.
Trump.
You're there.
I'm
can y'all not
assuming
hear
that-
the guy talking?
No, not
You
at all.
can't hear him?
Oh, that's what
On
we were
the
doing.
other
Yeah, you
hand,
said we were
see
playing some.
Joe
I'm waking
Biden
up.
and
video.
the Democrats.
I'm sorry.
They remove God from the Pledge of
not at all.
Allegiance.
Can't hear.
That means
Oh,
the
that's what we
people
were doing. You said
following
we
Joe
were playing some-
Biden
I'm
are
waking up.
cursed.
I'm
Democrats.
sorry.
If you want to be cursed, then go ahead and defend Joe Biden and the devil. We need to stand up for President Trump. We know that God's will is President Trump. Look, President Trump is pro-life. He loves America. He boldly says, "In God we trust," and plays "God bless the USA." And he helps the economy recover. He's wise, and this helps the poor people. So God's will is for President Trump. On the other hand, we see Joe Biden and the Democrats. They remove God from the Pledge of Allegiance. That means the people following Joe Biden are cursed. If you want to be cursed, then go ahead and defend Joe Biden and the devil. We need to stand up for.
Okay, so I guess everybody got that. I hope everybody got it.
Then go ahead and
Might have been a little
defend
echo for
Joe
him.
Biden and the devil.
But you hopefully
We
heard
need to
him.
stand up for.
Okay, so I guess everybody got that. I hope can you hear me?
Then go ahead and defend.
I hear like maybe a million voices in my head right now.
Yeah, this is weird.
I guess everybody got that. I hope can you hear me? Yeah, so I just wanted to point out, that's the kind of thumbnail that you're watching up on the left over there. But
This is weird.
Everybody got that.
Chris, I want to say that there's this
So I
saying
just
that
wanted to
there's
point out, that's
no
the
such
kind
thing
of
as a failed
thumbnail that you're
experiment.
watching
Or
up
this
on
could be a
the
failed
left over there.
experiment.
This is
You
weird.
know, it could be. This, my understanding is this is a far-right preacher. He's probably, anti-abortion. I suspect
I
he's
can't hear you, Chris.
Could
I can't hear you.
We can't. We're hearing 1,000 voices in our ears.
There's like a million voices.
I can't hear you, Chris.
I can't hear you. I want to say that
We can't. We're hearing
when you said that, I thought you were
there's
kidding.
like a million voices.
I can't hear you, Chris.
How's that?
There. Oh,
Thank my
yeah,
fictitious
there.
God, that's over. I've talked to people who have
That's what
schizophrenia.
madness sounds like. Yeah.
I've talked to people who have schizophrenia, and what they say is that it's like a low rumbling of voices at times, like just like background static, and that's what that's the voices in my head.
That's what y'all were hearing, huh?
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch this show back, and I'm gonna go like, "Oh my god!"
Don't worry. You know, we are going to yes and this and say that I'm sure. This is what I'm going to say. I'm sure that the nonsense word salad that I've heard just now, it makes as much sense as the original recording. That is crystal clear. That it makes no logical sense whatsoever.
Yes. So you know, all right, I get that. I tell you, it's one. Okay, peep this, my homies. I'm gonna try something just for fun because
you gotta try it again.
Somebody in the chat has requested it, so I'm gonna try it again and make you all victims, not hello caller. That button there.
This is the international time. Now I can hear my own voice. There's an echo.
Okay, so clearly I got to fix that. So I thought I had that fixed.
This is the international time. Stop.
We'll move on.
Not recommend trying that again. Moving on. Exactly. Moving on.
I'll put mental effort into why my sound all of a sudden couldn't go through because y'all hear each other just fine. So no worries. But anyway, the guy comes on and he's talking about how Trump is for God and Trump is good and God is for Trump. He actually says in the video, and I think I put it on the thingy over here. It says God's will is President Trump. Now. This is not the first guy to say this sort of thing. This is not the first preacher to come out and say this sort of thing. Matter of fact,
God's saying the same thing to all the preacher men. God is speaking with one solid voice, so of course they would have to say all the same things, Chris.
I mean, y'all didn't know? Like, this is common sense. Donald Trump sleeps around. He has no respect for women. He's an elitist. I mean, he's everything that Jesus likes.
I'll tell you this, is that the fact that he is an elitist and the fact that he does sleep around just makes him so tasty to the midbrain of these evangelical dudes. You know, he's like the elf chimp.
It'll never cease to amaze me how these evangelical Christians will look at Barack Obama, who's had the same wife, who has children by the same wife, who is a Christian, goes to the church. They don't like the Jeremiah Wright preacher that he went to, but they will look at him and say, nope, Muslim. And they'll look at Donald Trump, the guy that sleeps with porn stars, raw dogs porn stars, and they'll say, good Christian man. That's evangelical America for you.
Yep. That's true.
It's all about the Supreme Court justices, yo. That's what it is. They give him the Supreme Court justices so he can do anything he wants.
Well, and that's it. Like, I've literally had somebody the other day told me that, you know, me as the reprobate atheist that I am could still do God's work through God's will and not even realize it. So maybe that's what they mean. It's a bunch of horse manure. You know, I have rejected your God. How can your God work through me? The same goes for the orange buffoon in the White House. He rejected your God a long time ago. You can have him back. Us atheists would love for you to take him back because we don't want him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just want to point out we've got the phone line up. So if anybody wants to call and talk about one of these preachers or priests or Trump using the religious to do whatever, give us a call. We're going to put you on the air. Or if you want to, you know, something else I wanted to have, if you got an interesting coming out story or an interesting atheist story, we'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it on the show. That'd be kind of fun. We'll probably do a day all just for, you know, the title will be Atheist Coming Out. Tell us your coming out story. But I mean, just for funsies, if you've got one, feel free to give us a call and we'll do the thing. I'm
looking at the show right now on my iPad, and it looks like I'm kind of giving Chris the side eye, like the critical look side eye. I'm just looking at my second screen here. So
I did the same thing. I noticed over there it looked like I was giving you like the resting bitch face, and I actually was. I just happened to notice it on screen too. That was odd.
Well, I saw that too, dude. I just saw that too.
So yes, I've got the call thing up. I'll let you guys know. I'm trying to make some changes here. But this is not the only guy who's been doing this. This is, I mean, I saw a clip. I don't really want to go find it just yet. If I had more time, I would. But I saw a clip of what's that guy's name? You know, COVID-19. What's his name?
Oh, Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah,
The
Copeland.
Kenneth Copeland.
right?
Yeah, I saw a video of him. They said Joe Biden is president, and he just starts laughing and walking around. Ha 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 ha.
Right. It is. I actually made a 60-second short about that and put it on my channel because it's so disturbing. It's just so freaking disturbing because he gets all of his the people in the pews too to laugh, and it's like, wow, this is
right.
Well, yeah, it's very disturbing because unfortunately, evangelical Christianity still has a lot of power in this country, and if they're looking at this man, you know, if judges and abortion, the abortion issues is enough for you to look past your faith, look past your belief in the God that you supposedly believe in, and vote for a man that you should not be voting for, I mean, we're in trouble. That's why we're in the place we're at right now as a country.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the argument that Donald Trump is doing God's word, and I would ask a Christian, so what's the difference between a guy just manipulating you and a guy doing God's work? I mean,
you just convinced me. He is doing God's work. What are you talking? Like, that convinced me.
The difference is subtle.
Yeah. I would just like to see the data on that. Like what are the characteristics of a person who could just be an atheist? You know, Donald Trump in theory could be an atheist, and he could just be like manipulating Christians. So what's and to working against them in the long term. So what's the difference between someone like that and someone who is a sinner and doing God's work? Is there any? How can you just tell whether or not you're getting manipulated, whether or not you're getting played, or whether or not this person is actually doing God's work? Is there any qualitative difference? I don't think there is.
It's so clear. Like if you are doing what they want, which is pushing through Supreme Court judges, which is, you know, calling Democrats libtards, liberals, terrorists. If you're doing that, then they don't care. Like, to me, this is, it is, you know, I've said this often on my channel. Christians don't really believe in God. They just like to say they do, because if they really believed in God, they wouldn't be supporting Donald Trump, who clearly goes against the dictations of God.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you want to be a whore, I mean, you know, and I don't want to insult sex workers with lumping them with evangelical Christians, and for that, I'm sorry. I'll say that straight off, right from the jump. But if you want to be a whore and say that you're going to whore yourself out to Donald J. Trump, then just say you're a freaking whore. You know, once again, apologies to the sex work community. No offense.
Yes. No
well, yeah,
offense.
it's the same thing. Like, because I have a lot of young people that work with me, and they're young Christian women, and I'll talk to them, and I'll be, you know, I'll ask them, like, how can you believe in somebody that's already condemned you to hell? And what do you mean? Well, you were over there talking about what you did with Steve last night in the group. Jesus ain't gonna like that. They don't really believe in Jesus. They just like to go around and say the word Jesus because that's what the herd likes to hear.
You know, it's virtue signaling. And I know a lot of people say that liberals virtue signal, but there is no way that liberals virtue signal in the same way that Christians do, evangelical Christians do. Because just saying that you're Jesus friendly, Jesus congruent, then that just means that you are part of the tribe and that you're not and in a lot of evangelicals' minds, that you're not a monster.
Oh yeah, I could stop being the raging atheist today. I could start faking being a Christian. I could come out. I could be a champion of Christianity, and those Christians, give them 2 days, would accept me, would prop me up, and oh, look how great Nokasuchi is. You didn't think I was great when I was on the other side of it, but now I'm great. And I guarantee you they would do that. I guarantee you.
You can even have your own GoFundMe. You know, I found Jesus, and Jesus is gonna help. I need money though.
Yeah, I probably would. I wouldn't have to work no more. You know,
you could become a preacher.
I thought about it, Chris. I'm like, they're hustling. Why can't I hustle?
Just for the coin. Just do it for a couple of
because
years.
You have
and then come back out as an atheist.
Yeah. That integrity gets in my way every time.
Yeah. So, you know, really, as we go through this show, we've seen things like all these mega pastors and little pastors all across the country talking about don't vote for Biden, vote for Trump. Here I'm not going to play the video again, but the balls of this thing was that the guy was saying don't vote for Trump, don't vote for Biden. Biden, if you vote for Biden, you'll be cursed. If you want to be cursed, vote for Biden. This is going on all across the country. So I just want to point that out. So and Andy's kind of like this specialty. He's like, if you're voting conservative, you're voting against and you're an atheist, you're voting against your
100%
own interest. So here's the point of all this is that if anybody comes to you and you're an atheist and they're telling, hey, you're talking too much political stuff and you shouldn't be doing that. I actually get one cuss word a show, I think, as long as we don't do it in the intro. At that point, you can tell them to fuck off. And this is why. Because of people like this.
I am intrigued now, and I want to talk shop for just a split second because I hate talking shop on the air. But if it's not in the intro, like the cursing in the intro, that's the danger zone, Chris?
Well, all right, peep this, my homies. So whenever you get monetized on your channel and you go and you click monetize this video, it will ask you a question. Do you have any harsh language or anything like that? And it'll say, and you have a choice at the top. It's like, I have, it's not really harsh language. It's like hell and damn, and it's not in the first few seconds. And then they're like grades. The bottom one is like harsh language in the title, we're not going to monetize you. But, somewhere in there is that gray area where you get like one bad word to show as long as it's not close to the front. So I used it. Fascinating.
Thank you for illuminating.
I could be wrong.
That subject. All right. Well, that's your best guess. And you've been doing this for a while. So, yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, David Paul, Ronan Kanushi, Dr. Osiris. All you wonderful people, Slade Chimera, thank you for joining us this morning. Remember, if you guys want to call, if anybody wants to call, give us a call and we will talk to you about this.
What's that number, Chris?
Discuss this.
What's that number?
904 damn show. I actually
You're very close to that, sir. It's 940 damn
That's
show.
what I said.
And now you can give me the resting bitch face again.
940 damn show. Did I say it wrong?
Yeah, you got a little dyslexic. 904.
Did I really? It's supposed to rhyme. 940 damn show. Damn it. Anyway, so give us a call if you want to talk at us or tell us your funny atheist story. I'll tell you one of mine real quick since we're here. I'll tell you one of mine. This is just a quickie. When I first came out as an atheist and I was becoming an atheist, I was getting a little vocal because sometimes you do that when you first come out, I guess. And I was first coming out as an atheist, and I was telling this lady, I was a computer guy, and I was at her house working on a computer trying to start my own little business. And whenever I told her I was an atheist, she literally crossed herself and stepped back. Mm-hmm. And, I really didn't know how to deal with that. My Christianity was so loose all the time anyway, to find somebody that would go so, but once she gathered herself and whatnot, I should have went boo. But
sure it wasn't because of your musky odors, Chris?
Well, I mean, we're literally demons walking in human flesh. So
evil, that's right, evil. I like it. Yeah, so that's one of my stories. If you guys want to talk about one of your things, we're gonna start doing that. So we've got the line open. We'll have it there. People will call as we talk about stuff.
I just wanted to touch on this interesting. I was on the CFI website earlier today, and there was this article, a link posted to an article about the appeal of conspiracy theories. It was about a researcher named Karen Douglas who's been doing research in conspiracy theories for decades at this point. And I scrolled down, I read through the article, and there are 3 reasons. And we've talked about this many times on the show, but I thought that I would offer some research so that it would bolster our claims, so to speak. So the name of the article is The Appeal of Conspiracy Theories, Karen Douglas. At Skeptical Inquirer, is from December 1st. And the 3 reasons. More generally, however, Douglas has found 3 main types of needs that may be met by believing in conspiracy theories: epistemic, existential, and social. Epistemic reflects the need for explanations and closure. For many people, living with open-endedness and uncertainty is uncomfortable. Existential reflects the desire for safety, security, and control, explaining the appeal to the powerless. Quote, studies show that people who are more on the losing side of the current political situation tend to believe in conspiracy theories more and talk more about them. This is an exploitable opening. Quote, Boris Johnson and Donald Trump have pitched themselves as outsiders, and that appeals to a lot of people. The third and final need, quote, social, reflects people's need to feel good about themselves. In a way, believing might appeal to the need to be unique. You have information that others don't have, and that might be in some way make them feel better, even if it doesn't work. So those are the 3 reasons. I found that interesting.
Yes. I saw that article whenever you sent it to me. I was like, man, they ain't wrong.
No.
I'm a douche. I never read the articles, and I should.
Well, it just depends. Sometimes I skim. I'm a skimmer.
Well, why would you need to read them if Andy reads the most important parts of them when you really think about it?
On the show. Yeah. As prep. Well, there are things that, like the article I sent concerning this guy here, the video, it doesn't take much to find examples of what we're talking about on the show today, about preachers going out and supporting Trump or being actively against. But there's something else I want to mention. A lot of people are like, listen, if they're going to come out and they're going to wait. Okay. So here's one of those deals. They're like, if they're going to come out and they're going to support Donald Trump, then what we need to do is we need to tax the churches. They need to pay their fair share of taxes if they're going to want to say in our politics. That's not really how it should go. They should pay taxes and not get a say in our politics. They shouldn't get a say in our politics. They should still pay taxes, but that doesn't mean they should somehow, some way get a voice in our politics. And I often hear it said that way, that, let's make the church, if they want to start having, saying their thing, but I don't think that's right. That just because we start taxing them, now all of a sudden they officially get permission to start having some kind of voice in our elections. I don't think that's right. So I just want to say that. My thoughts. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that people, as human beings, we want things the same way. There's that saying of, you want your cake and you want to eat it too. I never understood that saying because, of course, if I have cake, I want to eat it. Right.
Why wouldn't you? What the hell? I don't get that.
However, there is definitely hypocrisy is hardwired into us. It's the idea that, of course, if you're an institution that doesn't have to pay taxes, and if you can get away with being political so that you can undermine the system so that you get even more money and more power, there are just too many incentives for that organization. Of course, I'm talking about churches, not to exploit it. It's unfortunate, but hypocrisy is almost baked into the system.
Well, yeah, and I mean, they're using their pulpits to push political messages now, especially in the era of Trump. Trump and Pence have eradicated the barriers between doing that, so preachers feel perfectly justified to sit on their pulpit now and talk about how their parishioners need to go vote for Donald Trump. Before Trump came in, I can't remember, I think it was like the Johnson Act, I can't remember it, but Pence has always had that targeted, and as soon as he became vice president, he wiped it out. So yeah, I think at that point, like once you are doing that, then definitely you should lose your tax exempt status.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah. And you can see how these conspiracy theories, right? Because I still assert that Christianity is a conspiracy theory. So
do I. We had a huge argument on my channel the other night about that.
Well, tell me about that. I'm curious.
Fill us in.
Oh yeah. We had a couple atheists arguing for historical Jesus, and I had to pretty much educate, because atheists, if you don't like mythicism, you target mythicists when you don't understand that you're a mythicist yourself. If you don't believe that Jesus was magical, you're a mythicist. You're just part of you're one faction of mythicism. The other factions, they don't believe that Jesus existed at all, but you're still a mythicist. So yeah, it became a dumpster fire with atheists arguing with each other and the one Christian in the room just kind of poking and laughing about it. And I'm just sitting there, you guys are feeding the Christian, So,
Right.
Yeah, it was a cluster. I want to say my normal terminology. We'll say it was a cluster screw of a night on Wednesday.
Cluster screw, cluster copulation, perhaps.
Yeah, cluster copulation is better. Yes.
Damp lung. Sorry. Yeah, so that's kind of that's your whole bag now, still, isn't it? How did your debate go on your show last night?
Oh, it went great. I was
Tell us
really,
about that.
really proud of it. It played like a real debate. It was really good. And Leo Filius's interlocutor was a bit weird. I was glad that I wasn't the interlocutor against him the first time he mentioned I believe in psychedelics and I advocate for that and magic is real. So it got a little crazy, but it was a good philosophy conversation.
That was not Leo, right? That was the other guy.
There seems to be two different statements. There is the I endorse the use of psychedelics, one, and magic is real. And I don't think those two necessarily have to be.
It might be the psychedelics making you think the magic is real.
It could be.
His definition of magic was pretty much anything that's unexplained is magic. So, 400 years ago, us talking on our cell phones, that's magic, right? 400 years ago, so
5,000 years ago, people don't know the earth is round, and somehow the fact that the earth is being round or an oblate spheroid is magic. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, pretty much. It was odd, but he knew his stuff. So, it was, Leo Filius and this guy were going back and forth with their philosophy. And it was interesting for me to just sit back and say, I don't have to do anything.
I long for those days. Did you have good viewership?
We were over 40. I think we peaked over 50. So I mean it's picking up. It's getting better again. Those debates. Yeah, people love the debates.
Why would you trade the God of the Gaps for Magic of the Gaps? Right?
Right now, what they say, we traded God of the Gaps for materialism of the gaps, Andy. This is a new thing. So Christian Otangelo said that, and then a couple other Christians backed it up, and all the atheists were sitting there like, that isn't a thing. What are you talking about? Yeah. No, I can't explain it because it's not a thing.
No. If nothing else can be explained by God, and then the things that suddenly can't be explained by God, you throw God in there, that's the God of the Gaps. That's the metaphor right there. The idea that things can be explained in a materialistic way via the scientific method, and then you say, well, the things that we don't know will probably be explained via the scientific method. That's the best guess possible.
It's a hypothesis. Yeah, it's not even a guess. You're looking at the evidence and you're saying this is probably going to happen here too because it happened 99.9% everywhere else.
Yeah. It's
so it's not a thing, and we had a field day. I even brought sock account on to combat that foolishness.
We've
had fun.
I need to get Leo Filius on the show one of these days. I've been threatening to, just never have. Him and T Jump. I want to get T Jump on the show.
T Jump's a good one. Leo, I'll talk to him, but I think he might be a late riser, maybe.
Well, there are those out there.
I want to talk to about what Never Again said about why we do hate mystery so much. I kind of like a good mystery. That was in your chat, Chris. And I don't think everyone hates mystery. I think a certain group of people hate mystery, and they need this closed system to operate under. And those are the people who need certainty. And when they don't have it, they would rather have a conspiracy theory than a mystery.
I thoroughly enjoy mystery myself. Mysteries were always one of my favorite things to read, especially if they're done well. And you're left in that feeling of suspense. I enjoy it, but some people just they need stern reality around them at all times, and that's just to me, honestly, it's stepping outside of reality because not everything is explainable right now.
And nothing. I mean, and you have to be comfortable with that, don't you? You have to be comfortable with not knowing.
People don't like saying I don't know. So
Well, what I find useful is that I don't know, but I'm sure it's not magic dust. I'm sure it's not pixie dust. I'm sure it's not God. And sure is in quotes, of course. There are brackets there, but when we speak to each other, it's usually in shorthand anyway. I say I'm an atheist, so when I say I don't know, but I'm sure it's not pixie dust. Sure, in brackets, it could be pixie dust, but smart money is not on pixie dust.
Smart money, no.
I think pixie dust is a little more logically explainable than Yahweh.
Well, and I want to speak to that too. And I think you're right, Rage, because pixie dust could be magic, and magic could be just proto-science, right?
Yeah.
It's just not really understanding how the world works, and so you think that you make up your own rules, basically. While I think Hume would say that miracles are like this usurpation of the natural order. And so I would rather have. I think pixie dust and magic more likely to be real than God.
Yeah, and we call it universe dust. Universe dust is better.
I like what you said whenever you said that these people are replacing the God of the gaps with magic. So if science can't explain something, suddenly they can do it with magic, or magic or goes in there. That was a great analogy.
Thank you. I say smart things on occasion.
Yes. Once in a while.
I remember when I was 18, I spent about a month trying to move shit with my mind. It never worked.
So did I.
Has anybody not done that? Has anybody? Yeah, I did that for quite a while. And then when you watch movies about it, you're like, I must be doing something wrong.
What am I not doing right?
Maybe I scrunch my face up a certain way.
Right. If I give myself an aneurysm,
right,
or blow out my O-ring pushing hard enough, I can. Thank you, Paul Cambridge, thank you, Paul Cambridge, for the £4.99 of support to the channel. He says, tea for that guy, Chris, keeps the hand shaking. The tea, the caffeine, much appreciated. Thank you very much. All right, let's see here. One of the things that I do want to mention, swinging us back once again thusly to the topic, is and bringing us back to Andy, is this notion of, this notion of why an atheist would want to be political, why would an atheist want to vote for the right kind of thing? Go off, Andy.
Oh, okay. So, what strikes me, and we've talked about this on the show before with guests, is that even after you deconvert from Christianity, you will still have artifacts. You'll still have these ideas and concepts that are residual from Christianity that you may not have realized that they were actually part of that tribe. And in America, in the United States of America, conservatism is intimately connected with evangelicalism and conservatism. They're like hip and jowl. So even after you become an evangelical, you will still probably have these old ideas and feelings that are irrational that you got about conservatism, about like maybe trickle down economics or nationalism or race theory from your evangelical past. I would even say for me personally, I'll just say this, is that some of the things that I still struggle with is the concept of free will, for example. I think free will, it is primarily it may not be
the
a
path
Christian.
I was what I'm trying to get from you though is if you're an atheist and you vote conservative, you're voting against your own interests.
Yeah, you're voting against it, and there's a ton of reasons for that. One is that basically, the more miserable a society is, the more likely it is to be religious. And it is clear that the current incarnation, and I would say the incarnation of the Republican Party for decades, for at least the last 50 years, has been to make society more miserable.
Right.
And more religious.
Conversely, the more religious a society it is, the more miserable it tends to be.
Well,
that's a flip there. It's
to your statement. When the base of one of the two major political parties is fueled by fundamentalism, then religion itself is politicized in that moment. And when you're talking about atheism, civil rights is political. You don't achieve civil rights without politics, without political movements. Normalizing atheism is a civil rights issue. So atheists that are trying to normalize atheism, we have to deal with politics because politics is a huge part of that.
Yeah, and the thing is that let's face it, most atheists.
I'm sorry, atheists are also, but atheists are in the crosshairs of the right. We literally, we are a target of theirs. Why would they want to take away our rights. They want to force our children to do things in school, say prayers or whatever. Why would you as an atheist vote for somebody who's going to do that? Do you think maybe you can control them politically, that they'll do the politics and as a conservative, they'll be conservative with money, but they won't force their religion on you all of a sudden? Most of them who think that.
Most atheists that vote right are libertarians. They're libertarians, so they're anti-government, and they're all about small government, and they don't see the left as representing that.
Well, and the thing is that I would challenge, because having been a big L libertarian and having gone to a national convention, what many people think what libertarianism is not what actually libertarian is. Open borders, totally free markets. Mm-hmm. That's what,
defund the police would be hugely libertarian.
It would be anarcho-libertarian. That's what big L libertarian is. Libertarian is not fascism. Libertarian is not nationalism. Libertarianism is not fetishizing the police. That is not what libertarianism is. And I would also challenge my brothers and sisters who are atheists and who are big L libertarians. It's like, it may make sense to you logically, but when you look at the data points, it's completely wrong. It's just completely wrong.
The flat tax would be disastrous. And as much as I am for remodeling, retraining police, getting rid of police altogether, no.
Yeah, nobody
but
says that's what that.
Libertarians do. They say that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, so they're scary to me. But I'm like, I have some libertarian leanings, and everybody should. But if you're that big L, that's scary. You're getting into some scary terrain there.
And once again, it's at least in my own, and I've said about this, I've talked about this on this channel and other channels. It's about the least restrictive methods used, possible. So if you can, whatever the least restrictive way of getting the goal, then that is probably and which is, makes sense. Then that's probably the best way possible. Now, unfortunately, the least restrictive way of getting good healthcare means a lot of government intervention for everybody, just to create a healthy society overall. That's all there is to it. I hate to bring that up, but that's just the way how numbers work.
That's how we've been able to get a lot of those big L libertarians onto our side, is with the healthcare argument. Because once you get to healthcare, then you see government's needed, and not just healthcare, but social safety nets as well. Government regulation is needed. Without it, then you just have corruption, and the people that need the help doesn't get it.
Right. And going all capitalist with our medical field and all that stuff was just horrible. That was a horrible thing. It was horrible. It's destroyed how many lives? How many people out there can't afford anything because of the money? That their lives financially have just been destroyed. Then again, you've also got the other question.
I'm doing that research right now.
Yeah. How many people are out there who don't go to the doctor because they don't have insurance?
Oh, me! Here, hand raised. You can't see me because it's morning time and I look like shit.
Yeah.
But
they're out there. Lots
I'm
of
so sick of Christians or anybody when I bring up the socialism word. I'm so sick of them bringing up Stalin and Mao to me. How many people did Stalin kill? So I'm looking into it. How many people has the healthcare system of America killed? Because I guarantee you, it's a lot more. It's a lot more.
Well, the reason why I'm not even going to start. You start talking about Stalin and Bolshevism, man. I could easily go down that rabbit hole, but I'm not going to take the bait.
I'm trying to trigger you.
I'm not trying to take the bait. I will say, James Henry in your chat, Chris, says atheists who vote conservative are usually very wealthy. Yes, and they're voting because they are not being rational. Not only are atheists who vote conservative are voting against their own interests, but they're voting against their own. They're voting against their own interests because they are being irrational. They are being irrational, and that's why they're voting conservative. And that's all. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got a caller here on the line here, so we're going to give it a try. The screener just says the caller's name is Taylor. So here we go. I want to hit the button. Hold on one second, and we'll see if we can hear Taylor. Hello, caller. Taylor, can you hear us? I got to fix some text. But Taylor, can you hear us?
What's up, guys?
Hey,
what's up?
Hey, man.
You can hear him? All right, everybody can hear you. Hey, how's it going, Taylor? What's your thoughts, man? What's going on?
I'm just surprised you guys answered. This is Flow State. Nice to meet you guys.
Good morning, Flow State. How are you doing? You ready for the weekend?
You were talking about conservative atheists. I figured I'd give a call.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Let's know your thoughts about it. I mean, are you a conservative atheist? Are you an atheist?
I am an atheist. I am conservative. I'm not real rigid on any of that stuff. I never really identified as an atheist that much because I just am nothing. As you know, I don't identify as not believing in flat Earth. It's a kind of a non-factor for me. With the conservative liberal thing, I am very much a supporter of individual liberties over centralized control. It's kind of what it summed that up. So I consider myself libertarian leaning. I certainly don't want to get rid of all the police. I do want to get rid of the drug law, though. Prostitution laws, anything that victims of crime.
That's a good point. I like that. I'm
kind
of Taylor, the same way.
I want to ask you, if a majority of people around you are flat earthers, would you feel the need to say that you're a round earther?
I probably wouldn't call it a morning show. I hear myself more around there, but no, I'm not a very conforming personality.
I understand.
Yeah. See, I'm the opposite. I'd be sitting there pointing the finger and laughing at all of them. Be like, y'all stupid.
And that's why they pick on you, Rage.
I did that for years.
So Taylor, I want to ask you.
I'm trying to be more peaceful and less combative. What's Andy?
If there were people, if these flat earthers were in power and trying to execute flat earther congruent policies, let's say for the CDC or for NASA, or would you feel the need to speak out against that?
Well, that would be a conspiracy theory. I think you already read about how conspiracy theories are ridiculous.
Right, but hypothetically, I mean, within this hypothetical, if there were flat earthers,
there was no harm being done.
But there would be harm being done.
I'm not atheistic. I don't. For real life example, I don't care if people are religious or go to church or however. I don't see the harm in it that you guys seem to agree on, especially Chris. But if they were using it to do shit like the Catholic Church is getting shitloads of stimulus money, that would be a problem for me.
Okay, and then you would speak out against it.
If I thought that there was a point in doing so.
Okay, very good.
Well, yeah, and I think that represents a huge reason why a lot of atheists do tend to at least lean right or be able to ignore some of the focal points of the right's agenda is because of that. It's smaller government, less regulation is something that they really care about. I would combat it that if you actually infiltrated the Democratic Party with those ideals, you wouldn't find as much resistance as you'd think. As Chris was pointing out, many of us are actually for getting rid of the drug laws, getting rid of prostitution laws. I think that there's a lot of unity to be had with more moderate libertarians such as yourself. It's unfortunate, though, that people tend to think right or left. So if you're the left, you're the enemy, and you can't see the common ground that we would actually have.
Which things like the war on drugs is, I think, a great example of why I would see myself as conservative or conservative leaning, because the war on drugs, I've never met anybody, conservative or liberal, who's really about the war on drugs and wants it to continue on.
Well, but it was the conservative, it was the right-leaning party that ignited that whole war on drugs. I mean, we're talking the first George Bush here. The Republican Party instituted that war.
It's technically a right issue, but really, what's the force driving it? It's law enforcement. It's the prison industrial complex. It's money. It's big government pulling money out of people by oppressing them, basically.
Well, exactly. But who's
So-
taking all of that money? Who's using that power for them? It's the Republicans. It's the right. It's not the left. So I think that goes to the point of why. Sure it is.
It's all of
sure it is.
It's not a right or a left issue.
It's part of the Democratic agenda. Part of the Democratic agenda is prison reform, and not the dopey little prison reform that Trump did, but actual prison reform, getting nonviolent criminals out of prison. That's the left's agenda. It's the right's agenda, law and order. It's the right's agenda to give more money to police. It's the right's agenda to put more people in prison. So what you're saying is
Biden and Harris are the two biggest cops on the block. Biden wrote those books.
Harris was a former prosecutor. Biden is a moderate right Democrat. You are right on that, sure. But when it comes like compared to Trump, are you going to compare Joe Biden and his record to Trump's record and the chaos in the streets, giving absolute military power to police forces across the country? I mean, they don't compare. It's not comparable.
Well, that's a whole nother can of worms, aside from the drug argument that we could spend the rest of the day.
I just want to
discussing it. But yeah, but to stick to the point, I would say that for sure, Biden helped create our oppressive criminal justice system, and Trump, if anything, has barely wound it down. He hasn't done much to it.
He's made it worse.
I just want to point out two things. One, Flow State called in, and Rage is the one taking it to him, right? And so that says something about something. And two, I would say, in terms of operational terms, right? So when we talk about someone who is pro the drug war, these are people, or these are voters who vote for politicians who are supporting, let's say, the DARE program, or who are fighting against the legalization of marijuana for recreational use. And so there are a lot of people out there. You can see it and I would say a piece of evidence to support the idea that liberals are more in favor of decriminalizing drugs is that, my state, the state of Massachusetts, blue state, recreational marijuana is legal. Colorado, blue state,
I do agree.
Marijuana is
in broad strokes, liberals are more in favor of legalizing than conservatives. But I wouldn't say at all that conservatives are fans of the war on drugs or proponents of it.
Oh no, because conservatives
liberals
they have family members going to prison too. So I mean, it's affected all of us, and you're not wrong. Like Joe Biden, he voted for that 90s crime bill that everybody puts on Bill Clinton. They forget to tell him that Bill Clinton was being choked by a Republican Congress and Senate. Newt Gingrich led that. They forget to mention that. But yeah, we'll put that crime bill on Bill Clinton, on the Democrats. Joe Biden was a huge part of that, but so were the Republicans. The Republicans weren't blocking that. The Republicans weren't opposed to that. They were all for it. That was actually a Republican bill. It just has Bill Clinton's name on it.
It's on the whole political class.
Well, I agree with that.
Political class versus a commoner issue. It's not a right commoner versus a left commoner. None of us like it. We all.
I agree with that, and that's what I say. Like true leftists that are activists, and true libertarians that believe in the things that you are espousing. We have a lot of common ground. It's just unfortunately we tend to play our team sports, and people refuse to see that common ground. We're talking the same page here. Everything you're saying. Everybody on this panel is probably like, yeah, we agree. We're all lefties. The people on the right are going to be the ones that you're going to find disagreement on these things.
I think this real disagreement is mechanics of how you execute.
That's true. Yeah.
Would you agree?
But sure. Our mechanics is we want to try. Their mechanics is let's not.
Well, their mechanics is the idea that a lot of people on the right like the industrial prison complex just because it makes them money. That is their shtick. That is what they do.
True. And they don't want to get rid of that. They're not going to get rid of that.
Flow State, you've got to come on my channel. This is our second time talking. We have such great talks.
I will have to say that you talk a lot better than you write, sir. That's what I'll say right now.
Well, Andy, in Flow State's defense, I would almost argue that half of what he does is just to prod you, and I enjoy it.
Well, he didn't just write so much crap and actually formulate like sentences that make sense.
It's a weird thing trying to keep up in the comments. Trying to keep up in the text comments. It's like, fuck, how do I blend what I really think with something provocative for Andy all in one sentence? How do it work?
To watch his face work as he reads the chat. You can see when he reaches a Flow State message, he's like...
Well, there's the different look. There's the I'm not going to respond to that because that's just
yeah.
And then there's the just completely absurd. It's right in the strike zone, and I feel like I could take a swing at it.
I think we got some double.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
Do you think that I came in right as you were wrapping up the article about conspiracy theories?
All right, I have it right here.
Do you think that it is more of a sign of wanting closure to believe in conspiracy theories or to dismiss conspiracy theories?
Say that again, please.
Which behavior do you think is more indicative of somebody who's acting in the pursuit of complete closure? Because you said that one of the things that people who like conspiracy theories, they get out of it is they get closure on things.
Sure.
Or they think right. So
okay.
Is dismissing conspiracy theories or entertaining them more indicative?
Well, I would say that people
of that behavior.
Okay, so people who entertain conspiracy theories entertain all conspiracy theories more or less. That's what the data shows, right? While those of us who I'm going to speak for myself. When I look at a particular conspiracy theory, I say to myself, well, I know that there have been real conspiracies in the world. Things have happened and they have turned out to be conspiracies. Like, for example, the death of Archduke Francis that started off World War I. From what I understand, there was the Serbian Black Hand, the intelligence organization, who gave weapons and support to a terrorist organization within Serbia. So yes, there are real conspiracies. So the idea is to look at what the conspiracy theory is and then say, well, maybe this is true. Now, there's a big difference between the killing of Archduke Francis in 1914 to lizard people. There's a lot of burden of proof on if you're telling me lizard people are around. And I'm not saying I dated someone who believed in lizard people, but maybe I did at first before. We don't king shame here. So every conspiracy theory is not the same. Has there been shady stuff going on since the dawn of time? Definitely. But once again, not all conspiracy theories are as probable. Once again, the Archduke Francis and the lizard people. Two different they are conspiratorial, but one is much closer to reality than the others. I hope that answers your question.
Sure.
Cool.
Gotcha. All right, guys.
How much do you think Chris is a conspiracy theorist left?
Oh yeah, I am. Yeah. Are we talking about me now? Sorry, I'm trying to run the show, trying to fix the audio. Can you hear me? They can't hear me. They can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Flow State. I think you think Chris is the extremist here. I'm the socialist.
I think Chris is the extremist. Correct.
Yeah, I think I have some extremist views. I wouldn't argue that. Yeah, sometimes I really have to step aside.
Everybody has
that derogatorily either.
Take it that way. I just mean, every now and then I actually have to step aside and go, wow, from just an objective point of view, I'm really left, and I have to find myself and justify.
I have to do that too.
So I get it.
I have to do it too, Chris. I will step back and like, whoa, I'm getting really, really, really extreme there. I need to step back, surround myself with a couple moderates. Talk to me, please. You know,
Yep. True enough. That's just how it is. I agree. I think, flow state's not wrong. I would be, really is an extremist. Yeah, I guess so. Probably so. Yeah. I'm the guy calling for the arrest of Trump. No, you're right though. I get you. Plus, I'm distracted, so you're like picking on me when I'm not even here.
I think you got the happy weed.
Standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, usually, actually, I would
taking my call.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, good talking to you.
Have a good one, Flow State. I would leave Flow State with I would find somebody looking at themselves honestly, and critically as standing up for themselves and recognizing who they are. So I applaud you, Chris.
Well, I just what I'm going to say is that sooner or later, Flow State's going to be a red flag carrying socialist in a bit, speaking out against the evils of the world. Give him time, man. Give him time.
Well, and I often find it funny when people that support the extremist Donald Trump talk about others being extreme. So,
it's perspective. A lot of that's perspective, and also
everything
it's
is
also
perspective.
about the media we get. If they listen to Fox News, if we listen to Fox News too long, we'll be like, damn. Same. I think they just listen. Not necessarily him, but some of them.
I think most people want to feel like they're middle class. Most people want to feel like they're middle of the road, politically speaking, because that's where it's safe, right? It feels safe for them internally, and it feels good for them socially to think of themselves as middle class or middle of the road, politically speaking. Because if you're not those things, then there's danger there. There be demons, I think, for a lot of people feel.
Good analogy. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys, and start analyzing and watching the show and seeing how I can fix things and make things better. Thank you all for your patience today as we did the call-ins and the sound. I'll get it all fixed. I think I got an idea of the little differences. Thank you, Andy and Nokasuchi. Man, you guys are wonderful.
Love the call-in format. I like the idea about having articles that we can bounce off of and having people call in. This is I feel like my personal game has amped because of this new format, and I'm loving it.
I like it too. I've been so busy building it, I haven't had time to properly shill it. I'm hoping if we properly shill it, we'll start getting more viewers and more people calling in. So that'd be wonderful. All right, guys. Thank you, Nokasuchi. Well, Andy, do you have anything going on before we run the final commercial of the day?
I'm always dropping comedy videos. I got some guests lined up for next week, and it's going to be fun. That's
awesome. Okay.
That's what Laughing in Disbelief's all about.
That's what it's all about. Nokasuchi, what about you, brother? You got a busy weekend?
Yeah. I'll be doing open rooms this weekend because I'm not working. Come back in 2 hours. We'll be looking at the first 5 to 10 minutes of Matt Powell's new movie. It's going to be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of laughs.
Awesome. I've got some clips I'm going to make. I was trying to prod y'all so I could hit this little button and record little clips of you guys doing stuff. I'm doing all kinds of nerdy stuff. I'm going to be working on the shorts for the channel and the other channel, and just my brain is exploding. So I hope my brain doesn't ooze out my ears by the end of the weekend. Hopefully.
Okay.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you to everybody in the damn nation. Y'all have a wonderful day. We will see you Monday. Take care. Today's world is confusing, and there's too much information for one person to make sense of it all. Which credit card should I pay off first? Is non-fat milk good for me? Who should I vote for? Let's face it, if you can't figure out high-interest milk, then how can you be expected to make political decisions that influence a country of over 325 million people? Well, that's why there's fascism. Fascism is the political, social, and economic system for today's world. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines fascism as a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts a nation, and often race, above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of the opposition. Choose this ideology and life will be easy. Did you ever look at someone who uses really big words and think, I wish those libtards would just disappear. Well, under fascism, your dreams can come true. Under fascism, you won't have to worry about the pesky little things like brown people or atheists, or who in your country is entitled to basic human rights and who is not. Hint, hint, the answer is nobody. Yes, friends, this truly is the final solution you've been looking for. And if you're concerned if this form of authoritarianism will be up to your high standards, don't worry. American fascism will be the best fascism in the world because it's been endorsed by Jesus. So go out and destroy freedom and democracy by getting fascism today. Paid for by the Fascio-Conservative Party, formerly known as the GOP. Thank you for watching the show. A special shout out to my gold level Patreon supporters, Cindy Plaza and Ian Davenport. Thank you and have a great day.